While we were test fitting our adapter plates, we realized that the passage that the water passage was pretty small compared to what was on the head. And there's after you put it on there, you see that this bump right here is obstructing a lot of water flow, and it has been running hot anyhow. And this bolt isn't even used anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a die grinder and grind some of that bump out so I can increase my water flow and hopefully help me run a little bit cooler with the blower on. So you can see that that bump isn't quite all the way out of the way, but we just wanted to, you know, give as much flow as we could without really taking too much out. But that's probably about 40% more water will be going through there now that we took that bump out of there. So I'm glad that we did it, and most of you watching this video probably aren't using these adapter plates, but I probably would recommend, if you are using a PME kit, that you would. So on the lower set of intake manifold gaskets, you're going to want to trim off this tab on the bottom, because that's going to want to interfere with the valley tray. And then we also opened up the water jacket again on the gasket to allow more water to come through. So what we did is we laid down a bead of silicone on that 45-degree angle on the valley plate where it mates with my adapter plate, and we put a gasket down, and then we're gonna do the other side, but you're gonna make sure that you want to sandwich those adapter plates with gaskets. Here's the adapter plates and the tray installed, and we just had to put a little bit of contact cement on those plates to keep the gaskets from falling off, so now we can drop the intake manifold. So we got the intake manifold installed. It was a little trickier than we had anticipated because we had to drill out the bolt holes in the manifold just a hair oversized so that we could get a really good, so we could tighten them down without worrying about stripping out any threads. And my intake gasket, or my blower gasket, just showed up in the UPS just now, so we'll have that cranked on pretty soon. And now we're getting started on putting the pulley, the blower pulley on, so that everything matches up. So here's the stock V-pulley that was on it, and then stacked onto that will be a spacer plate provided by B&M that was in my kit. And then we had to use another small spacer, and then finally the 10 rib pulley will go completely on the outside of that. So all in all, that pulley is going to be spaced out about that far from the crank. So there's the pulley for the blower, the lower pulley installed with the spacers, and I ran into a little trouble with that bottom pulley hitting my coolant lines for my transmission. So we had to bend those down a little bit, and I also I had this radiator space, so I just took out some washers down there to angle it more so that we can clear there. So we're still waiting for the shims for the other side of the motor to put the valve springs in, and once we have those in and installed, then we'll start putting the blower on. And it looked as though we needed around a 55-inch belt or a 56-inch belt, but we'll see here once we get everything snugged up. So we got the blower torqued down, and we got the belt on, and that's all tensioned up. And that was simple enough. You can figure that one out for yourself. They recommend 8 to 10 pounds only on the blower acorn nuts, because if you over tighten them, that'll cause the rotors to bind. So you'll want a set of feeler gauges, and the recommended gap between the case and the rotors is 0.012. So now we're going to start filling up the oil. Your blower might be different, but this is the fill plug, and we're going to be filling it until oil starts coming out of this sight plug. And after this, we'll move on to linkage. Well, we ran into another snag. That blower snout on the Ford models of this blower is geared up and off to the angle so you can run your distributor. But because of that gear right there, I wasn't able to run my Demon carburetor because the linkage, or not the linkage, the fuel line was in the way. So I had to buy some throttle, let's see, I guess adapter plates, not adapter plates, what would you call them?
Spacers. Just
the spacers. 2 1-inch spacers, so I can get above everything. So it's sitting quite high at this point. As you see, you can read my carburetor from the inside of the car. So whether or not you like that or not is up to you. But I think you can get around this by using a different carburetor. But this is just the problem that we ran into using the Demon carb.